If you're like me, you're always looking for a creative outlet, painting, writing, scrapbooking, creating photo albums, or DIY crafts, but finding the time for these projects seems impossible, especially if you're a parent. And yet, I managed to write and illustrate a rhyming children's book about my family in under 15 hours, from brainstorming to printing with the help of my second brain and ChatGPT. Hi, I'm Lauren, Tiago's wife, and in this video, I'll take you through each step of the process, following Tiago's code method. We'll cover capturing those initial sparks of inspiration, organizing our ideas, distilling them into a compelling story, and finally expressing them in a tangible, visually stunning book. After I gave birth to my second child with a toddler to keep up with last year, finding time for personal creative projects felt impossible. So to all the parents and busy bees out there who feel their creative spark is being overshadowed by the endless to-do list, I'm right there with you. Here's my number one tip when using ChatGPT. Ask it to ask you questions. This turns ChatGPT into a dynamic tool guiding you to provide the information it needs to help you execute your vision. Here's exactly what I said to ChatGPT. We're making a children's book for our nephews as a Christmas present. I need your help to ask me questions about my nephews and my daughter so we can turn it into a story. I'll tell you about them, share photos, and together we'll start crafting the content for this unique gift. As I was describing our family to ChatGPT, it asked me some thought-provoking questions that unearthed rich details about our family. ChatGPT asked, is there a special family heirloom that could act as a magical portal in the story? And at first I was like, what, heirloom? We don't have any treasures. But then I realized my father-in-law is a professional oil painter and each of our homes is graced with his artwork. That was a brilliant aha moment for me. And ChatGPT's suggestion turned these paintings into the magical portals of the story. The capturing and brainstorming part is my favorite part of the creativity process, where anything is possible. But where I often hit a roadblock in my creative process is in converging, synthesizing, and organizing these big sprawling ideas into a structured narrative. ChatGPT was instrumental in guiding me from the capture phase to the organize phase of the second brain process. It helped me add structure and clarity to my ideas, turning them into a solid story outline with a clear beginning, middle, and end that flowed naturally and captured the essence of our family adventures. Once I was happy with the outline, I asked ChatGPT to write a rhyming book. Writing a rhyming story, that seemed like something I could never do on my own. ChatGPT laid the foundation, and then I dove into the details stanza by stanza. Everything seemed to flow seamlessly until I reached the stage of crafting the images. This was where the real challenge began. I spent about 10 hours, the bulk of the project time, wrestling with getting these images just right. My standards were high, maybe too high, and I found myself getting stuck in this pursuit of perfection. And this is where my husband came through. He reminded me that it's okay to scope down, to embrace imperfection. This was a vivid reminder of one of the laws of productivity. Work expands to fill the time available. With the deadline looming, I had to make peace with the fact that not every image would be consistent in style, and that was perfectly okay. I started by describing to ChatGPT what I envisioned. Some of the characters were too cartoonish or too realistic. I had to keep experimenting until I found the right look. However, the most frustrating limitation is that once you get the look and feel of the character right, you can't reuse that same character's face across different scenes because each time you put in a new prompt, you get a whole nother person. My work around this was to only feature each child once in a specific image and then to keep the rest of the illustrations more zoomed out where you can't make out people's faces. When my son asks where he and his cousins are in the story, I add to the magic by saying, oh, look, you're in the car, or you're in that house. With the images and stories ready, the next step was to bring everything together. For this, I turned to Canva. My approach here was straightforward as I'm no graphic design expert, so I relied on simplicity. Using default text and image layouts, I focused on closing out the project efficiently. In Canva, I set up an 8 by 8 inch file, placed each image on a page, and added 1 or 2 stanzas of our story. This part of the process was surprisingly swift, taking just about an hour or two to lay everything out. But it wasn't just about placing text and images, it was also a chance to add those final personal touches. An essential tip for anyone doing this when downloading for print in Canva, ensure you you adjust the settings for print quality and add bleed crop marks. Time was ticking, so online printing wasn't an option, but this turned out to be a blessing. I connected with a local printer. They understood exactly what I wanted, not just a photo book, but something that feels like a real professionally printed book, and they were able to turn it around within a day. There we were sitting around on the couch, and everyone sat along as my sister-in-law read the book out loud, and everyone followed along. And their reactions were so precious. Everyone had those smiles on their faces and was awing and gasping and laughing at the inside jokes, like about our kids who eat too much food. And it was such an incredibly special moment. My biggest heartbreak is that my children didn't get to meet their grandfather, my dad. And I always share stories about him with them. And for my next project, I'm envisioning a book that brings my children together with my dad, where he gets to take them on special adventures. This is the beauty of what we could achieve with tools like ChatGPT. It's not about making a book, it's about weaving the fabric of your family's history and dreams into something tangible. This is what having a second brain is about. It's about extending ourselves, our stories, our legacies through the creations we bring to life.